This week's Parsha, we learn about how the first building campaign in Jewish history went. After all, the Jewish people in the desert had contributed many of their raw materials towards the construction of this Mishkan, this tabernacle that served essentially as their house of worship, as they journeyed along the desert for 40 years until they got to the land of Israel. They would take it apart and put it back together as they continued on with their journey. They were solicited by Moshe to make contributions, as I mentioned, all the raw materials that they had, gold, silver, different color, wool, etc. And this week's Parsha, we learn about how everybody came forward and brought all their contributions, and the craftsmen at that time took the contributions and constructed a beautiful structure called the Mishkan, as well as all the vessels and vestments for the Kohanim, the priests as well. And what's interesting is when the Torah articulates who made these contributions, it talks about the contributions of the Nesiim, of the tribal leaders. But when it mentions the Nesiim and their contributions, which they brought forward, which were the precious gems and stones, it mentions their name without a letter in the name. The Nesiim without the Yud. Now, that seems to be a bizarre statement in the Torah to have the word Nesiim, the tribal leaders, without one of the letters in their name. And Rashi, the famous commentary, points out the reason for that. And that is because tradition has it that the Nesiim, the tribal leaders, said at the time when the solicitation for this campaign was made, let everybody contribute what they can, and we will make the deficit up at the end. If there's a shortfall at the end, we'll make up the difference. They were not the first people to jump in and say, count us in. They just said, let everyone contribute, and then we'll come up at the end and make up the difference of any shortfall. And what ended up happening was that there was almost no shortfall because everybody was so generous with their contributions, the only thing left for them to contribute was just a few precious stones. And because we were not impressed, God was not impressed with the attitude of the Nesiim, the tribal leaders, for not being more eager to contribute, they are mentioned in the Torah without one of the letters in their name. And this teaches us a profound lesson, and that is because in so many opportunities that we have the choice to do what the Nesiim did. We can either just say, let everyone go ahead and do what they do, and maybe I'll join in at the end. Or we can be a leader. We can go ahead and seize the moment and not look at what anyone else is doing. Not going ahead and looking behind us. Rather, just looking forward and say, if this is a good cause, count me in. Folks, throughout our lives, we have so many opportunities to do good in our society, with our families and our faith. Let's take advantage of that opportunity. Let us not look around and see who else is going to participate. If there is an opportunity that knocks on our door, let us remember to seize that moment. Have a wonderful Shabbos.